Alrighty, we are just about ready to get started, and you are very welcome, Zebchi. So what we've got here. Oh! I've got background sound. That's what I've got here. What we've got here are the semifinals, playoffs between DoD and UCA. So these should be a pretty good series here. It's a best of 5. DoD was the first clan, or first place I should say, in Division 2, and UCA was the second place team in Division 1. So this is the second round of the playoffs. DoD had a bye in the first round based on the fact that they placed first, and UCA played against ONU in round 1 and beat them 2-1 in a very close series. So we are moving on to the semifinals. UCA and DoD A. Let's see if I can find it. Where did I put it here? So that's from the other one. Okay, here we go. So UCA did not play against DoD A in the regular season. So this is the first matchup between these two. And our first map is Sea of Worms, which is not a map that is in the standard map set as far as like if you're playing normal random map. So it's kind of a unique map a little bit, just in how the map is formatted. Obviously we can see off to the right a huge sea, a lot of fish, and then the players, kind of interestingly, are kind of formed in almost kind of like a line, so that this third player in the back, man, he's pretty safe, because how are they going to attack him? So most of the fighting always kind of ends up right in the middle here, with the poor front player in each team just taking the brunt of the aggression. So this is not a map that was picked by either of the clans. This was a preset map. So the first game of the series, both clans knew ahead of time was going to be Sea of Worms. Also, something real quick to note before we get into the players is that the gods were blind pick, which means that going into the game, each team could not see the gods of the other team. So completely blind as far as what the opponents were going. So we have UCA down here on the bottom, and Tom is the very front player. He's Kronos, and Matrius is the pocket, I guess you could say, though I guess he really isn't the pocket. He's the second player. He's Kronos. And the third player is Domintas. He is Hades, all the way in the back. And what's up, King Ment? Crowd is cheering. Yeah, so on the top we have Shelty as Aranos. We have a deconstruct in Shelty's dock, and I imagine we will probably see another deconstruct as soon as this one is rebuilt, which is just a pain. So Shelty's the front, Brickhead's the middle, or the second player, he's Poseidon, and then the back is Joe as Ra. Probably almost rather have the Ra be the front here, just because a little easier to defend as a Ra as opposed to Aranos, and I'm surprised they are not using their second deconstruct. That would really be a problem. Oh, no, he's waiting for it. It's coming. Yeah. So there are 2 deconstructs just to slow down Shelty. He did get that drop off. They actually are able to drop off the dock when it's being deconstructed, so he did get the drop off of food from the fishing ship there. So the reason they're using the early deconstruct is just to slow Shelty down, so that so that UCA can get an early advantage on C. You also have the Hades player. He kind of has a choice as far as what he goes up for classical age. He could go up with the god that gives pestilence, which prevents the enemy docks then from building boats for a while, or he could go up with restoration, which is huge in team warship battles, because just the restoration, regenerating of health there, just kind of an automatic win in individual boat battles. As far as the matchup here of by skill level, it's definitely DoD is better skills, at least like on individual basis. Like in 1v1s, DoD's better, and quite a bit better. They got a lot of top players, but UCA plays a ton of team games, and they practice quite a bit, which is kind of why they're here in the semifinals. Like as far as individually, the players are pretty decent, but not the top. But just the fact that they play a lot together in practice is kind of what has got them here today. So I think this will be a pretty good series. I would actually favor UCA in this just by the fact that they play a lot together, and then DoD hasn't quite been, their top players haven't quite been as active lately, so there might be a little bit of rust for them to wade through. And we have both Chronos players, both doing forward temples. Honestly, I think in this map, I think UCA's god choices are a lot better. I really don't see how DoD's going to hold on the sea. I don't like the Ra. Typically, Ra is going to be a little bit behind. So you do have Hermes, which does give the opportunity for a ceasefire, but and if they use Pestilence here during cease, none of these docks are going to produce. So this is really way too crammed up. Like, I'm kind of surprised we haven't seen Pestilence come out yet. They might not know all those docks are here, but yeah, now, holy crap, I mean, just look at this. Pestilence might miss this dock, but they can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at all these docks lined up. Alrighty, so Pestilence got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think maybe if he would have aimed it a little better, I think he probably could have gotten another one. But they get 4 docks on Pestilence. That's pretty big, so we are going to have a crazy fight right here. But yeah, I would have Pestilenced the Atlantean dock, because these are his only 2 docks, whereas the other players, well, I guess he does have 1 dock here. I think the Pestilence would have been better up here, but yeah, we kind of have the ceasefire almost to counteract the Pestilence, so now it's just a question of massing boats. And really, ceasefire is actually pretty effective here. Honestly, what these guys should do now, the ceasefire, is they should attack here. If they attack here, they will kill the town center. I don't know if they'll do that, but they need to change. Like, there's no way they can defend if everybody goes here. Like, the Cyclops does a huge amount of damage, and so do the Prometheans. Oh, this is a mistake to stay here. They could easily kill this town center if they went over. And oh, that's what they're doing. That is what they're doing. I would send the Cyclops over. The only thing could save them is that the Ra player does have shifting sands, and he could shift in his priest and pharaoh and a couple villagers. So we're gonna have a kind of an interesting fight up here. Okay, deconstruct has been used. We got a massive fight going on here. I'd like to see this go to the town center. And this is it's looking like maybe DoD's fight here on the sea, but they should go for the town center. Yeah, DoD's winning. DoD's got the upper hand, but yeah, force a few idle villagers, that's good, and then go for the town center. The only problem is that the Cyclops is out of position, and DoD's actually winning this pretty handily, but come on, you guys gotta go. They might have missed their window to attack. I don't know why they waited so long. Like, they had all this army and they allowed the buildings to be built. Kind of a misplay. Because now he's going to get heroes. Now you see it's kind of getting handled on water a little bit. The problem is red almost has no boats, and we do have a shifting sands, and he did end up shifting quite a bit of units back. So that kind of ends that attack. But If they would have attacked here, right, if they would have been here right after ceasefire, it would have been a lot better for them. But now they're getting spanked on water. That ceasefire did a lot more than what I thought it would. It seemed like UCA was kind of just behind in building boats. So they're kind of getting spanked right now, and a very poor land attack too. They could have done a lot better with that. Yeah, so they are all garrisoned up. Yeah, a little bit of fishing right there, and then it looks like Purple's gonna try to go for a bit of a boat raid. And that villager is dead. Just trying to do some villager harass now. But yellow is Schulte's doing some nice aggression here, and actually we'll probably be able to get quite a bit of idle villagers down there. Doesn't seem to be seeing this though. He's gonna lose a villager for no apparent reason. Yep, he forgot about his villager up there. But this is good. Up here he's actually got him pushed off of gold. You sent me a request on Discord, please accept. Well, let me probably give the old accept after this. Raw player is 2 town centers. Brickhead is doing very well too. And they are kind of desperately trying to keep Tom running here. Domitas going for the 3 town centers. I don't know where he's planning on getting all the food for that. DoD is kind of doing a little bit of a poor job pushing him off of fish, though. They're allowing all this. Oh, God. Well, not exactly, but feel free to worship me. Yeah, they should be pushing a little bit on this dock up there. And we see Brickhead is kind of sending some units as well. Joe is just booming. That's what he should do. He should go up to heroic. Ooh, look at all these villagers gathering around the good stuff here. Oh, nope, they're moving on to another one. Seems like he's kind of forgotten about empowerment a little bit. He should make a priest to empower this, and then make a priest to empower that. Meanwhile, Tom is getting a little bit caught out. And yeah, despite winning the water, DoD, they're still allowing UCA to fish a little bit more than what they should. And they're even getting a little bit of interference on their boats too. Alright, now they're finally causing that. The 3 town center, that's cute and everything, but I don't know where he intends on getting all the food to continue it and build an army. And yeah, Joe is up Hathor, so I would like to see him forward build. Yep, that's what he's doing. Forward build, take this town center, build a siege workshop, and they should be able to push through. The DoD's in a really good spot right here. I mean, what exactly is Kronos going to do against a powerful Raw Migdal army? They still do have Sentinel though to add a little bit of defense up here. If I were, yeah, I'm about to say if I were Domitas, I would build a dock back here, because DoD does not have too many boats. In fact, if he would have managed to garrison a fishing ship here, he kind of would have been able to save himself there. Yeah, because there's some fish back here, a lot of fish. The one downside when winning water on this map, though, is that because there's so little shoreline, with all the fish back here, it kind of makes fishing a little bit inefficient, just because of the amount of time they have to spend getting to and from the fish. So winning water while is good is not really quite as huge as it could be on other maps, but it's still, I mean, it definitely gives an early advantage. And yeah, he's got that town center. I would anticipate seeing him. I mean, he could even almost at this point go up with Whoever gets tornado, I'm forgetting. That doesn't look like he is. He's making elephants. But yeah, siege workshop. There's this siege workshop. Now if they can just combine their armies here, it should be a slow push through. Kind of surprised he's holding on to pestilence for so long. Looks like the Rock is trying to find some villagers. Like this would be a good pest down here. That's a lot of farms. But yeah, with Purple not having an army at all, going with the 3 town center boom, I really don't see how they're going to hold this. Because this is basically a 3-on-2, and the 3 DoD players have huge armies. So this might be a pretty quick first game here. UCA kind of went all in on the early aggression, and didn't quite work out for them. A little bit more organization here, and they could have done some damage earlier, but no, they're too slow. I don't know where the sentinels are. Okay, the sentinels have been used. Only 2, just based on how the placement goes. This is kind of the downside of Sentinel, is that they don't do very well replacing themselves depending on where enemy boat or building, or depending on where their allied buildings are. And a ceasefire followed by rain, not ceasefire, Locust followed by rain. That's to prevent an underworld passage, and then the locusts prevent villagers attacking the siege towers. So this is pretty kind of a domination here. I mean, they can't even do it here. Man, this first game, holy cow. DoD is smoking them. But yeah, this is kind of steamrolled based on a very the rear temple isn't going too well. Yeah, steamrolled UCA based on just early aggression that just didn't quite amount to look at these Prometheons. Cute idea, but two priests kind of ends that. And that's, wow. Tom is kind of out for the count. Yeah, I'll accept after I'm finished. Here, I mean, I don't need to accept now. I'm in the middle. Here's the underworld, kind of a desperation underworld, really. Not quite sure what he thinks he's gonna do with this. This Tom is slightly dead. He killed a few villagers, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what this is gonna do. It's kind of just a delay tactic that's gonna do nothing. There comes Shelty in to kind of massacre. And Tom's base is gone. He is up Mythic, and that as soon as he gets this mummy will kill the Colossus, and that will kind of be the end of this. So put the mummy here, mummy on the Colossus. Oh. He wasn't thinking ahead. Ah, you wasted your mummy. Well, still has to retreat anyway. Well, I think this game's kind of over. They could probably resign anytime. And yeah, the underworld's kind of gone. And with the underworld gone, I think green is about down. He's used bronze just because. And DoD played this really well. That ceasefire really kind of screwed up UCA's entire plan. Really, their only chance. Well, I don't know why they were so far behind in boat production. It seemed like they were more behind than what they needed to be. why they haven't resigned yet. They could resign anytime here, fellows. Another town center being killed. But yeah, nicely played by DoD. They were ready for what came at them. It seemed like UCA didn't have a backup plan for a ceasefire. Like, they were all about the early aggression, and then once that ceasefire came, they kind of had no plan at that point, because they were all hoping that the early dock pressure with the Prometheans and Oracles combined with Pestilence would kind of take over water, but it seemed like they didn't really account for a, well, let's just kind of wander in here and not fight. It seemed like they didn't account for the ceasefire. Well, I don't know why they're waiting to resign here. I'm just going to fast forward the end of this, because this is over. Son of Osiris died for no reason, but yeah, this is done. So we just got it fast forwarded. There's the resign. So let's take a look at post-game and see what exactly happened here. Oh, so team stats pretty close up until there. As far as resources, military units, they were up in military. A lot of this though is land, so I'm gonna say they were probably equal or behind on water military, and I guess that makes sense because they spent so much resources on they spent so many resources on Prometheans that they didn't have the resources to build boats. So that is first game to DoD, and a pretty substantial defeat there. So I'm going to put this real quick on the intermission screen and just update that. .A1, and I will get the second game loaded up and ready to go, and we'll see how this one goes. See how UCA does here. That was a bit underwhelming by UCA, to be sure. I was kind of disappointed with that that performance. It was kind of a demolition. Alright, so we will go into my downloads here. Now that I have the next game downloaded. And we will move this to my RTS League folder. And I maneuver my stream thing over to RTS Rec, and we will go to game 2, which I have very simply renamed as recorded game 1. So we are on game 2, and oh, it's sudden death. I love this map. This is UCA's home map. Sudden death. So throughout the season, UCA pretty much picked oh, what's the name of that app? Black Sea, which is not this. So this is sudden death, and this is another map that is not a standard map that you'll see in the standard map set. This is, if you thought last map was a little bit unique, this one is crazy unique. So one thing you'll notice, everybody starts with the fortified citadel. They also start with both building HP upgrades. So good luck killing your buildings early on, because it's a ton of hit points. You also see that players are spawning in a line. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You also do not have, this is not random, this is UCA's home map. So each team gets to pick a home map. This is UCA's home map. They pick it. So it's not random. And the first map on Sea of Worms was a preset map that was just determined by RTS League staff. Sea of Worms game 1. UCA home map game 2 because they lost game 1. So anyway, a little bit more about this map. So what you don't see are extra settlements. They don't exist. There are none. You only get one settlement. And it is a citadel, by the way, if I didn't point that out. So that does give the extra 10 pop. We also have tents that spawn for each player. Each player gets 4 tents. Now, what is the purpose of this tent? Well, I will tell you. It gives 10 pop. So each tent gives 10 population space. They can also not be rebuilt. So you kill a tent and you are permanently depriving your opponent of 10 population space. So actually, the tents are a huge part of this game. Because fully popped with all your houses, each player gets 170 pop space. I think it's 170 because it's the 100 normally, 20, 110, 120, 130, 140, and then Citadel is extra 10, so yeah, 170. So everybody gets 170 pop. If you kill all tents, that's down to 130 pop. That's not a lot of room to make an army. So we might see some tent raids. So we haven't looked at the players or gods yet, so let's look at that. The front player on DoD is Brickhead, he's Poseidon. The middle player is Shelty, he's Uranos. And the back player is Joe as Ra. So these are the same exact gods that they picked in Game 1. And actually, well, no, it was almost the same row, but Shelty was the front, so now Brickhead's the front. And on the other side, Domitas is the front. He's Hades. Ooh, that is a good spot to have your Hades player, right smack dab in the front. This middle player is Hero. He's Loki, and the back player is Kronos. And that's Matrius. So actually, this is probably about the best they could want for positioning, because the Kronos player, he can just forward shift all of his military buildings. So the fact that he's in the back doesn't really hurt a whole lot. And the Loki player will typically forward a little bit too. So yeah, he's forwarding there. And then we do have the Hades player as built on the water. So only the front players have built on the water. And Brickhead kind of struck out with his dock here. All the fish is back here. So he's going to want to build a second dock right here. And that's actually a lot of fish. 3, 6, 9, 12 fish crammed right here. And oh, we have Matrius is doing a forward shift. I think he spotted these villagers. Nope, not quite. But if he gets some early aggression on these villagers, which might be key, we'll see if he's able to do anything. They did not quite scout where these villagers are. So we'll see if he managed to find his way. I'm thinking he's going to miss these villagers. So that's an early advance. Yep. He is not going to find those villies. That would be huge if he could find them. Actually, really poor scouting. It's not good. There's really nothing for him to attack down here. Like if he were to know what was going on, he would see there's nothing. Actually, though, if I were him, I think you can deconstruct temples or houses. I would deconstruct a house at a permanent 10 pop disadvantage. That's huge. He's going all the way down to the back. Like, this is not the person you want to attack. This is the raw player. So far this aggression has done nothing. Nah, he's not going for anything. Like, he could kill this tent right here, but he didn't even scout it. So now he's going up realizing that he kind of overshot the middle player. And man, if he would have found these villagers here, he might have been able to get a trap in. So we'll see if he kills this tent. They do have 990 HP with both upgrades, and oh, he's repairing it. So Shelty knows sometimes you can kind of get a little bit of a trick on here and players not realize that the tents are valuable. So he's actually is repairing it, which is fairly we'll see. No, he's abandoning the tent raid. Meanwhile, on the front, we have this guy walling up. Old Brickhead's walling up, and Troll is getting trolled by the hero. So that's the end of this aggression here. Kind of pointless aggression. Didn't really do much. Could have done a lot if he would have spotted these villagers. And oh man, they're hunting right there. He has this scouted. He should. If you click on a village, here's a tip for you. Click on an animal that you have scouted, If you see that the HP bar right here is missing, that means it's dead. So that means without even having line of sight here, he knows that there, or he could know that there are villagers gathering here. But it does not matter. So we've got quite the, he's also sending resources to Harrow. Quite the boat boom here by Domitas. Really, I would have rather seen the Kronos aggression go towards the water and getting water, because water, even though there's not much, we do have an early rain, even though there's not a whole lot of fish, water is very important because there's only one town center, which means booming is hard. So the ability to make early units, extra units on water is huge. That's going to give a huge advantage to both players that are on water. And kind of this buildup of army is kind of pointless. They can get this tent. Maybe they'll be able to grab the tent. But that's what they should be kind of focusing on, is getting these tents down, because the -10 pop is just gigantic. Alright, they did kill a villager, the citizen there. I don't know why he's not getting this tent. I wonder if he can deconstruct a tent. Oh, I can't. Oh, it's rain, so it's hard to say. Let's see if he can deconstruct it. Oh no, they cannot be deconstructed. That's interesting. But yeah, let's kill this tent. Yeah, early... the raids work well, but the full-on early aggression doesn't do a whole lot, just because how are you going to kill a 5,580 hit point citadel with 55% hack armor? Which essentially gives it, holy crap, if it's taken out half, that basically gives it 10,000 hack health. These 3 Prometheans are kind of doing some work, but they should really kill this 10. So Joe is up with Hathor. It is important because he can now make a market and get to trade, which, as I touched on, any way that you can make additional civilian units, that's huge. Because everybody else is stuck just making one villager at a time out of the town center. And with a forward shift, just to defend and get his units up here. I'm hoping he gets a pretty good caravan boom in, because he's got the food for it. I'm hoping he gets the second farming upgrade quickly. So all this unit massing though by UCA doesn't really matter at this point, because they're not going to be able to push through here. So like you see, they got these armies. They deconstructed this. I mean, what good does that really do? It's not like you're going to push through. Really, I think there was a kind of a mistake that only one player on each team went water. I feel like UCA's best opportunity was for the Loki player to go build a dock and the Kronos player to attack on land and then kind of double on this side. That's what they should have done. So I just don't know why you would give water for free to your opponent, especially when Kronos' specialty is kind of the early water harass. So we do have some raids going on here, just kind of being a problem, not accomplishing a whole lot. Both teams just kind of building up armies, a little bit of harassing here and there, but not a whole lot else going on. Each player does start with 3 medium gold mines, so it's not even, you can't even really pressure the gold either. I mean, you push them off one, they just move to the other. These Hersiers should really be whacking at the houses. I don't know why they're not targeting the houses more. Oh, he's going to get a catch on these citizens here. Oh, he ran right past him. Oh, come on. Then with the old helicopter garrison, they can kind of warp. Oh man, he could have done a little bit better here. Like even just doing a time shift and shifting with the temple and shifting a 2 behemoth there to kill 2 tents, that's worth it. That's just some ideas I'm throwing out. How's the... Alright, he's only got the first one. I guess he still is in that age. And Domitas is up age 2. I wonder if he's going to go up for a kind of a quick earthquake. Problem is, with all these buildings here, earthquake won't do a ton of damage just because of all the hit points. Because earthquake's damage is capped as far as how much damage it can do. So if you use it on a bunch of buildings, it kind of just spreads the damage out and won't really kill much. And then you have all the hit point upgrades that also kind of... Ooh, that is a nice pestilence there. Kind of a... Ooh, let's run all your citizens into it. Gee. Kind of a big mistake there by Matrius. Putting all his farms right together. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why they aren't focusing on tents. I mean, I know his Hersi are getting chased down, but I would have thought that they would have kept a temple down here with a couple behemoths and just I mean, these 2 tents would be pretty... I mean, they don't have them scouted, so maybe that's the problem, but these 2 tents would be easy to kill. So Joe's got a trade going. I'd like to see him empower the market, but he's not. Domitas is going up Artemis. I think this Artemis choice is a mistake. It, to me, would be more beneficial to go up with Hephaestus, Plenty Vault, especially with the fact that you only can make 1 village at a time. Plenty Vault would even have more value on this than normal, because Earthquake isn't going to kill this. It won't even get close. I would rather see a Hephaestus here. It's pretty strong pressure getting put on right now. Finally a dock on the other side. So Matrius is up with Atlas. That is Vortex. He lost his Hika Gigantes though for no reason. Like really what they could have... Ooh, we got the mummy wandering through here. Really what they could do is almost a Vortex to the middle. Why? What a terrible earthquake. It did nothing. Like if you got the battle board down here, you'd think you'd like combine it here. Why would you do it here? That did absolutely nothing. Wow, that's terrible. That is just terrible. Terrible use of the earthquake. I don't know where Matrix's army is and doesn't exist. Like here's my thought when they went up with Artemis and whoever gives the Vortex along with the Loki, that they would like attack the middle, do a Vortex with Loki's Vortex, the Uranus player or the Kronos player of the army, have the Loki raid and then follow it up with an earthquake and then maybe be able to get like the second player out. But now they're... Nice Vortex killing the stables. This makes no sense. Yeah, imagine if they would have combined their god powers a little better. Like you do Vortex... You do Vortex, Earthquake, Fimblewinter down here, and this town center is dead. Because here's the key, I also didn't touch on it. If your town center is destroyed, you have 2 minutes to rebuild it or you're out of the game. So they could have just all-in on this and killed it. Instead they've wasted 2 god powers on the front and not even been close to killing anything. This is just some really just better use of the god powers, and they would probably have been able to kill Shelty. A nice raid up here. I don't know if they can defend this push. And here's another vortex. They might kill the town center this time. So maybe it will turn out okay for him in the end. So Brickhead has 2 minutes to rebuild. To rebuild. And oh, he has a ceasefire anyway, so what's the big deal? Like, almost with the ceasefire, you have to kill it twice. Yeah, so he'll rebuild it. I mean, they need to force the ceasefire, though. I don't know where these are going. Like, he's not even going to need to cease. Why did he move those? Because they need to force the ceasefire. Otherwise, Purple's not going to be able to hold. There, he's coming back. Okay. Yeah, they need... Oh, nice Herseers around there. Wait, if they can do one more vortex, though, they might be able to get this town center and just keep it down. They might be able to... Well, no. They might force the ceasefire, though. He wants to force the ceasefire. Oh. See, I would not have used Underworld yet. I would have waited until after the cease. But that was a good chain of events there. Really, the flaming weapons was not needed. Hey, Tom, no spoilers, man. No spoilers. Because I know it's your team, so I'm sure you know the results. Yeah, the shifting sands, I didn't touch on that. Anything that can maneuver your military to the back is huge. I did think that the shifting sands up here to build the Migdol was kind of a waste. See, now this Underworld is kind of, well, it'll be alright. I don't know why he has unupgraded Hippopus, though. I don't know where this army is going either. Yeah, that was a waste of an Underworld. And we have a Vortex. Why did he Vortex? He has no... That was a waste of a Vortex. Like, what is going on here? Where is this army going? That was really bad coordination there. Really bad coordination from UCA. Yeah, they were going to force the ceasefire easily without using the Underworld passage there. If they would have saved Underworld and done the Vortex now on the back, that would have been better. That was some very poor coordination. The game is still in the balance. But you see that UCA is kind of struggling to win when they're age up on everybody. Oh, you can pop some citizens there. Also like to see them do something on the water over here. You missed this game, Barrack? People still play it. You don't have to miss it. You can play it. GMOU Barrack. Did he ever get the second fishing upgrade? Yeah, he did. What about Brickhead? Yep, he did. This is some really nice pressure though by Harrow. I'd kind of like to see him move over here though, because he knows about these. He knows about those markets, and trade is huge. But man, Shelty's losing a ton of units. 2 citizen. Oh, target this one. It only got 7 hit points. Oh, just missed it. Targeted just too late. Nice push up here though. The rock catapults. And I don't understand Domitas's use of the Hippopist. Like, there's nothing that they counter. He should just be going Toxotes and Hippocon. But yeah, this is nice pressure here. Holy cow. Really nice pressure by Harrow. Harrow is suddenly, he was way behind early, but he's vaulted to a huge score lead. Ooh, this Slow Deathbaker over here. I love these earthier names. Slow Deathbaker. He needs to make a couple barracks over here while he's got everybody busy on this side. Got a Hippocon rating. Few Hippocon rating. Man, this is right. He should start mixing in though a few. He'll however you say it. He needs to mix in a few of the gastrophides, however you say it. I'm not exactly an expert on Greek. Ooh, look at this. 6 boar. Oh, yes, yes, yes. He's doing old Slow Deathbaker. He is doing what I told him to do. Way to go, Slowed. These little Hippocon raids are a little bit of a problem, though. But I will say that DoD has a bit of a problem in that they don't have anything to switch fronts. The only thing they might get is when the Aranos player gets to Mythic, you might get some vortexes, but like, how are they going to push through a Hades? It's kind of a problem they might have. Alright, Slowed. Oh, where'd Slowed? Oh, he's down here. Oh, this is some good raids. These raids are really hurt. Like, I haven't focused on these raids, but these are some really good raids. I don't know why they haven't walled up. Because Domitas, the villager count is pretty low. And remember that this map, with only having 1 town center, villager kills are huge. And these... Where did his boar go? Did his boar all die? Oh, here they are. Is he gonna get it? Gonna get it? Gonna get it? Nope. Oh, so close. The shockwave saved it. Not that it really matters, he'd build it back, but it is, I mean, losing this is a 10 pop loss. Because it's no longer the Citadel when you rebuild it. So this is a nice push. The problem is Domitas doesn't have many resources to follow up on this push. So they're going to have to go back because that raid was a really significant raid. Alright, so they're finally pushing down here. And yeah, some just time shift buildings like crazy to interrupt. Like, this trade is huge. Domitas archers are way out of position here. You can see he's dwindling down to 119 pop. And he doesn't have a lot of villagers. Where did those raiding cavalry go? Oh, right here. Waiting to come back and kill more villagers. Ooh, nice little raid here. Do have a Chimera. This Osiris though, this might be... we've kind of got like the pendulum swing. They pushed this way and now they got pushed back, and now it's kind of the push the other way. When initially it was a UCA pushed, or initially DoD pushed, then UCA, now DoD's pushing again. I don't know if they will be able to hold this, because the one advantage DoD has is that they have an Egyptian, and we all know Egyptian catapults. One of the best siege units in the game. And why is he making Prodromos? Does he think they get an attack bonus against chariots? Because they don't. Maybe it's for the Hippicon. These Hippicon are really being a pain. But the Prodromos with their 27% Pierce Armor, really going to live a long time against all these archers. Well, really good idea. Ooh. Oh, we got a rock drop. He's rock dropping his own base. I don't know why Hero is trying to push this. Over here would be a great. Let's see if he repaired it all the way. He did at least repair it all the way. Boy, this is still close, but these Hippicon raids really are doing a lot, and UCA's trade routes pretty bad right now. Like, this to here is a lot shorter than this to here, so DoD's trade routes are a lot longer than UCA's. Oh, I heard the wonderful sound of a Atlantean citizen dying. The old rock drop, what a pain. Kind of single-handedly. I don't know why he's attacking the Ra. Just seems like why doesn't he attack the rock with that? But I don't know what he thinks these few siege units are going to do. I mean, he doesn't even have flaming weapons to make his ballista better. Like, what exactly is this accomplishing? And this has been pushed back, so... Like, really, Hero should be focusing on this right here. You can do so much more damage killing the trade route. We have a vortex. Ooh, this is a good vortex, because there's nothing back here to defend, and we've got an earthquake. So yeah, see, this is kind of what I'm talking about, is what UCA should have done. Instead of wasting all their god powers in the front, is vortex, earthquake to the back. So you tell me how Hero's going to build a town center, because I sure don't. So I think that might have solidified the game right there. And that is a lot of caravans dying. Yeah, I don't think Hero's going to be able to build his base back in time. Because Matrius does not have much of an army to talk about here. Did he really make his Terma hero so they could kill Shades? That doesn't quite work. Oh, see, they should be able to keep this town center down. Just targeting the town center here. The chariots are a little bit aiming around. Oh, it's huge if this guy gets an attack, because they do a ton of damage. Oh yeah, then we can just follow it up with more vortex. So yeah, I don't think Hero's going to be able to rebuild this, which is too bad, because he's really the only guy on UCA that was actually accomplishing anything. So with it being a 2v3, I think that's going to be the end of the game right here. Finally some pressure on the markets. I mean, let's wait until the end of the game to do it. But yeah, Hero is out. So that's a 2v3. So Not exactly going to be able to win a 2v3. So, yep, that is the resignations. They waited until the very end of the game to kill the markets. I don't understand why they waited so long, but such is life. Guess when you watch the recorded game. Well, no, why do this map? There's still a timer if it's conquest, because the timers are built into the map. So even if you set it conquest, there's still a timer. So that's game 2. DoD has leaped out to a 2-0 lead. They were able to get this one mainly due to the incompetent use of God powers by UCA. But close game overall. But yeah, just the difference in God power usage. You saw how DoD kind of appropriately used their important God powers and kind of were able to win this pretty easily just by killing Arrow all of a sudden. Whereas UCA kind of spent half their God powers up here, which didn't quite work too well, and then tried to attack here too, and just kind of the combination of the efforts kind of failed. So that is game 2. They put that as an 0-2 DoD, and let me go download game 3. So I will put this to the RTS League stuff. So DoD has a 2-0 lead. Bit of a surprise for me. Thought UCA would do a little bit better than what they did. So here's game 3. So theoretically, if DoD wins this, well, not theoretically, if DoD wins this, that's the series. So let me get this recorded game put up in my folder here that I have just downloaded. Rename it. Oh, cancel. Hold on, bear with me. Just getting it maneuvered around. Alrighty, now we have it. RTS League Rec. We will get that switched over and maneuver our way over to DoD times UCA 3. 6 Ras. We have Oasis. 6 Ras. Gee. I'd say the advantage here will be to DoD because I don't think UCA has too many Ra players. So 6 Ras. So there's no point in going over the gods really. We already went over those. So UCA has Harrow in the red, Domitas in the teal, Matrius in the green, and DoD has the Sheltie in the yellow, the Brickhead in the blue, and the Joe in the purple. So we're probably going to see a lot of rain today. Rain is in the forecast, chance of precipitation 100%. The best weatherman to ever exist. Domitas is going up here to hunt. It does make this interesting to have 6 Ras. Generally on this map you're just doing the 2-town center fast heroic. I would think it would almost be a good idea to go up with Bast Segment for a couple players, because if they go Bast Segment, do an archaic farm, they can get rain out in Archaic Age, and then they'll probably get rain from everybody else, which will allow them to make a lot of the food heavy units, which that's Sphinx and Scarabs. And I would think they'd be able to kind of push through. Like if I were the pocket, or not the, if I were the pocket, I would do Ptah, Hathor for sure. If I were the edge, I would probably go Bass Sekhmet in this situation and have one guy go real aggressive, one town center, fast heroic, and then have the middle guy do shifting sands to assist in the attack. That's what I'd do. We'll see if anybody here does it. I think we'd be able to catch somebody off guard and eliminate somebody early, because Ra's kind of renowned for the slow initial start and then the huge mid to late game. So if you can attack before that mid to late game, yeah, mid game surge comes, you can take advantage. So 6 Ra, what am I going to talk about? Really, there's just a difference in God Power Pass, and seeing that Harrow is so late. Harrow is so late, so he's building the monument so late. I don't think he's probably going to be going up with Bast. Really, if you're going to be going up with Bast, you should be doing the hunt. Should be hunting. So I don't think he's going Bast. It would be a mistake for a pocket to go Bast. He's making archaic farms. Joe is hunting. Brickhead is hunting. Shelty, yeah, he's got those hunt. And hey, what's up, Bulmer? Yeah, the least scouted map ever. You get 6 Ra, no scouting. Really, I touch on this every time, is that if you're doing a 2 town center fast heroic, usually, especially on Oasis, going out of your base to hunt slows you down. You should have enough resources in base based on goats and berries in your starting zebra to advance and get your second town center. The only reason a Ra should hunt on this map is if they are planning to do Bast. Which, that might be what Joe is doing. He got this monument up right away. He might be going up with Bast. And hey, what's up, Nick? So for those of you who are joining in late, this is the RTS League, which is the Clan League, semifinals between UCA and DoD B. This is a best of 5, and right now DoD is leading 2-0, and this is their home map. They picked this map. So if DoD wins this, the series is over. DoD moves on to the finals, and UCA, they're done. So DoD off to a real good start. Tower Cestus, Guy's Book of Knowledge, useless. I'd be real interested to see if Joe is going to go up fast. If he were, I would think he would have built farms by now. Because in this situation, a Bast Ra player will do an Archaic Age farm. So now he's going up with... I wonder if Matrius is considering it. Wonder if Matrius really knows how to do the Archaic... I mean, generally speaking, the Archaic Age rain is not that good. But in this situation where you're going to have rain after rain after rain, it's probably good to get your rain out first so that the other players don't benefit. So it's not a bad idea really, but he should get up. Yeah, so everybody's going Ptah. I think that is a mistake. I think there's something to be said about a flank going up with Bast Sekhmet and doing an early push. Because if you just go straight up one town center fast heroic, you can get your push in on this town center at about 8 minutes. And if you have your allies shifting, maybe just an army of priests and pharaoh and a Wadjet, I think you'd be able to push through the front and then cast rain so the opponents can't shift your army away. That's what I would have done in this map, in this situation. But you have to understand they're thinking on the fly. And we have another rain. Like I said, chance of a rain, 100%. Speaking of Ra, it's not bad enough we have 6 Ra. We also have the relic, the Ankh of Ra. We see who's gotten out the farms first. Shelty was a little... Very important to have both husbandry and plow for rain. Very important. I hope I can't do that as a player. So Matrix is getting plow. Yeah, I'd like to see UCA win too, so I have more games to commentate. And I like watching RTS League games. About the only games I watch. Like 1v1s, yeah, I don't watch them. I don't watch my own recorded games. I know I suck. Why do I have to watch a recorded game to prove it? A little watch it on watch it. Battle here. And now Brickhead has cast Rain. I'm sure there's like a mad pressing of the Rain button as soon as Rain's over to try to get the next one in. So that you're the one that's getting the benefit of it. We still have 3 Rains left. No Bass, that's disappointing. 20 hit points, he wins. Yeah, I think a Bass Sekhmet would work, because if you go Bass Sekhmet 1 town center, he would be attacking right about now. Maybe a little later. You just look at the defenses. Kind of aren't any. Just the only problem is you'd have to try to squeeze in your Eclipse in between the Rain. So actually you wouldn't, yeah. Shifting Sands and Eclipse. But yeah, that's the problem is the Rain, but I would have done it. Instead we're going to see some massive booms and Red Twadget's going to die because he was behind. Ah! How many kills do we have right now? 2? So yeah, I would think that DoD would have the advantage here because they are a little better at Egyptians than UCA. Man, what an exciting game so far. Lots of Rains. I'm also surprised nobody went 3 town center. With all the Rains, you could have done 3 town center and still made it up to heroic age pretty quick. A lot of slow heroic times though. 2 town center fast heroic should be 8:30. Shelty is up over Harrow though, and he's got a little like a 20-second start on. I don't know why Harrow's so far behind. Like he's 1,300 points behind. Well, maybe he'll get a big up as soon as he reaches heroic age. And now we have Pestilence. That's a nice pest. Prevents the Migdol from being built. Another thing that I usually in Ra v Ra battles, I prefer the siege works first. The early siege towers, I think, do a little bit better. Like if he put the siege workshop first, he would already have probably 2 that he could use to attack that. And we have another Rain. He's not empowering his town center though. He's that one, so at least he's got one. Lots of eco ups. Like to see people getting there. Okay, yeah. Look at Brickhead. He's got almost all the eco ups already. Harrow's kind of behind. Looks like Joe is okay. He's doing pure camel. Or not Joe. That's Brickhead. Brickhead's doing pure camel. It's a good idea. The elephants. I think the elephants are a mistake. I don't think the elephants add a lot in this situation. I'd almost just go pure chariot archer, siege tower, and then use all my food to get a trade. Oh, we gotta save your. Ah, he didn't save his pharaoh. Like this aggression is a little bit over eager right now. That kills a lot of farms because he doesn't have anything to kill the villagers, which is why I would have preferred pure chariot archer siege tower, because then he can use chariots to pick off the villagers. And we kind of have camel on camel here in the middle. And Harrow's going pure camel, whereas Sheltie is doing a mix. And Domantas is up with Horus. If I were Domantas, I'd use Tornado here. Oh, he did. He misplaced it, though. He put it too high. He should have put it down here. But Tornado's usually pretty smart. He might not quite kill it, though. 174 HP. I mean, green will finish it off. I don't know why he's... Yeah, run your camels in, big guy. Oh, now, yeah, it is forcing blue to come back and help. This is the point, too, where shifting sands can be really good. Like, if after, well, see now blue's coming. And teal is a little bit behind. Teal's out of position right now, Domantas is. Osiris is huge in this to upgrade camels. See now all his he needs to get his siege tower. He's got a rock here. Put your siege towers in the rock. Okay, purple does have a trade going, and blue has trade coming. This is kind of stalemating initially, but Sheltie is probably up soon. Yeah, he's advancing now. And if he once he casts Tornado, he'll push through. So because Matrius wasn't able to hold this, it kind of makes the usage of Tornado a waste. Domantas he needed to come down here and help out. Oh, nice. Very generous of Joe to run all his villagers into the locust there. Like, did he say? They need to get on that and prevent it from going up. The camel should have come around here, because I think he might have a few villagers in the rock. Oh, that's a weak shifting sands. Wow. Very weak. So they used shifting sands to ensure the town center would go down, but if they would have just done a little better routing with the camels, so you hate to see the shift being wasted like that. And we got a problem over here. I don't think this is... Does he have healing upgrades? He doesn't. So this will kill the town center if the tornado stays. Unless it gets its max. Oh, we got a building upgrade. Still gets it though. So tornado on tornado, kind of replicating itself. Harrows did a lot more damage because it got the Migdal and the siege workshop, and then these elephants look like they're gonna kill that. And now Joe has used not pestilence, locust down here to prevent Matrius from building it. So he will kill the Migdals. That's big because that's the only two Migdals. Too bad he doesn't have anything to... Oh man, just imagine if they would have had Pestilence there. Domantas did shifting sands. I think he shifted units 2 here because he's losing badly. Matrius, you can see he's kind of way behind. Despite all the help, yeah, not Pestilence, Locust. Despite all the, I always mix those two up. Despite all the help that Matrius has gotten, he's barely ahead of Joe. And Shelty's gonna push through here. It looks like looks like DoD has set up their ecos a lot quicker. I got trade up because I mean even when I checked kind of at the early heroic age, DoD had all the eco, had more eco than UCA did. And there's a really good pestilence, Locust. In Ra battles, it's best to save your Locust for when you are pushing on a town center so that it can't be rebuilt. Using it on village, I mean, well, if you find a juicy town or juicy gold mine, that's good too. But using it on farms like a few players did here is not the best use of it. But this is a nice forward by Brickhead. I don't really quite see what Domatas is going to do to get back at this. He does not have... Oh, he went up with... Oh, he went up with the wrong one there. Yeah, the camels, when it comes to camel, it'd be camel. The one that gets what is it, Desert Winds or something? Yeah, Desert Wind. That camel is gonna, his camels are going to destroy. So it's looking pretty grim for UCA. This might end up being a 3-0 here. And if it is a 3-0, they're moving on to the semifinals. Yeah, the problem here on UCA's team is primarily Matrius. Despite all of the help that he got down here, he couldn't even get the advantage over Joe. I'm guessing he just was way too slow to set up his eco. Like if we compare ecos, I bet Brickhead's eco is way ahead of Matrius's. The problem with Spearmen late game is that they're so resource heavy, so food heavy. It's hard to get them going because it just takes a ton of food. He doesn't even have the best. He doesn't even have the Spearman techs. We do have a tornado down here. That's probably gonna finish off Matrius. Yeah, nice tornado. Hero is holding pretty well, but Shelty's got a pretty good forward build here. He should get crenellations for his tower, so they can utterly destroy all the enemy cavalry. But well, it's looking pretty grim because on all three sides, DoD is winning. Joe is winning over Matrius, Brickhead's winning over Nomentas, and Shelty is winning over Harrow. So, looking pretty grim. So, assuming that DoD wins, which it looks like they're going to, this is going to be a 3-0 sweep. And who will they play in the finals? I see Vlad B is asking in the chat. That's not determined yet. The other half of the brackets are... they're just having problems scheduling. So we're actually waiting. The first round of the other half hasn't even played yet, and that's Keen against EOM. Then the winner of that would play JSS, and then the winner of that would play what looks like it's DoD in the finals. So EOM and Keen have both decided that their players are like, you'd almost think that all their players are inactive with the way that they can't even manage to schedule a game. Like Oh, I can't play then. No, I can't play then. Oh, we can't play then. We can't play then. Coincidentally, the only times they can play are the times when the other clan can't. So, it really is magical how that works sometimes. So, it might end up being just somebody gets forwarded an administrative decision, maybe just a roll of the dice if they're going to leave it to this. And yeah, Joe is now taking that. And it's kind of almost a little bit of a stalemate here, but it's kind of a slow win for Brickhead. But Sheltie is suddenly pushed through. And once you get in the 4-2 town center situation, it's pretty tough to lose that in a raw versus raw battle. Because that means you've probably gotten a forward town center, which means you can spam the crap out of mercenaries, especially in a team game when your caravans are bringing home tons of resources. I don't know why he's trading with the close town center, not this back one, but whatever. They're not empowering. Let's see how many people are doing the basic raw 101, which is empower your market. So Sheltie gets 0 on the test. Brickhead gets a 0 on the test. Joe gets a 0 on the test. Matreus gets a 0 on the test. Domitas gets a 0 on the test. And Harrow, he scores 100. He's the only raw player that scores 100 on the empowerment test. But he's still getting his butt kicked, so what does it really matter, I guess. But actually it is pretty important. So that's looking like UCA probably a little hesitant to resign after all this is the end of the season for them. And now they are resigning. So if you wanted to see it, you got it. A rah battle. And that is it. So JSS, a clean sweep. 3-0. First game, not very close. Second game, UCA should have won with better god power management. Third game, UCA had a few glimpses, but not doing so well. You are right. Empowerment of markets is stupid. It really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't exist, because the reason empowerment exists on the rest, for the rest, is because you're right, as Legendary Raider puts in chat, is Egyptian gatherers gather slower than other civies. So the empowerment exists to kind of bring Ra's eco back into the game. And then it's kind of interesting just kind of how the threefold bonuses work. So ISIS, they get kind of the average empowerment with the cheaper eco tech, so 10% or 10% cheaper on every tech. Ra gets the additional empowerment to kind of counteract that 10% eco tech, or the 10% tech that ISIS gets. And then Set kind of gets the advantage by getting the map power or the map control early on. With the animals, and then the fact that they get free animals they can eat for hunt. So, but then yeah, the caravans gather at the same speed as all other civies, so the empowerment is just an extra, whether it be you use a pharaoh or priest, can be 15% to 25%. I mean, just imagine that 25% empowerment on in a team game, 25% empowerment of a 265 gold caravan. What is that? 80? Over 80 gold this empowerment gets. So that's why all these other players score 0 on the raw test, because that's basic raw 101 is always empower your market. So we'll look at resources and see who won and lost. Matreus's eco was unnecessarily bad, which is why he could not push through Joe. And you see Harrow, see, this is why he scores 100 on the test. His eco is the best. It's just he fell behind Sheltie early, and was kind of at a disadvantage. Domitasis here, I think, is when he was canceling. It looks like he canceled the tech and got influx. Yeah, you definitely canceled the tech or something here to get that influx of, because if you cancel techs, it counts as resources gathered. So theoretically, if at the 3-minute mark you are, or even units, you just train and cancel, train and cancel, train and cancel, train and cancel, it's going to look like your resource total is way up here. So that is it, and that's all I got for you guys. I don't anticipate streaming any games that I will play. So let's take a look real quick at these playoffs that I was talking about. So RTS League playoffs, season 29. So this is JSS and DoD got buys, being the first place clans in their division. So JSS is awaiting the EOM Keen battle, who are currently in a stalemate of very poor scheduling, so probably some administrative action there. And UCA, they beat ONU in the first round in a really close series. If you missed that series, unfortunately you've got spoilers now, but those were really good games to watch. Really one of the best 3-game series that I've watched. They were all pretty good games to watch, kind of back and forth, so those were really good games. And then we do have what's called the League Cup, which is the playoffs for the non-playoff teams. So we've kind of got a bracket here that looks kind of shady. So Frost beat Acid, so Frost is in the finals, and then we're kind of waiting some other games here. Some clans kind of went inactive, but that's all right. So Frost is in the finals in League Cup, and so we're working on it. And in scheduling here in the playoffs, we've got people not responding, so we will see what goes on here. Otherwise, this match will be determined one way or the other this week, whether it be an administrative decision or they actually play. So I am going to end it. So appreciate you fellows tuning in for the games, and I'll catch you guys some other time. I'm working the next couple days, so I won't be here, but I am off this weekend, so I might get some streaming in this weekend, playing some games and stuff. How do I make the admin decision when neither team schedules? Well, there's one way that we've done it is that we just set an administrative time. Just usually it's like Sunday at like 19 GMT, because that's when most people are actually able to play. So that's the first thing, and if people claim they can't do that, then too bad. So that's probably what we'll end up doing. If they aren't scheduling a time, we'll end up just setting an administrative time, and whoever shows up wins. But yeah, you guys are welcome for the stream. Appreciate it. And I'll catch all you guys later. Just wish we would have had a little bit better of a series. I wish UCA would have played a little better. Tom, you should have got your guys set up a little bit. So thanks a lot for watching. And I will catch again. I think I said this already 2 times, so I'll say it a 3rd time. Catch all you guys later. Have a good night. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your week.